Welcome to another episode of Subverted Tropes. I'm Daniel.
And I am Kate.
And today we're going to be talking about a classic movie.
Them!
Let's set the scene a little bit. It's the fall of 1953. Warner Brothers has just seen the success of sci-fi thriller The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. They want some of that success. So here's what happens. The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms comes out, and 16 months later, Godzilla comes out. They are both movies about underwater creatures who are giant and angry, getting mad when nuclear bombs are set off near them, and then they rise and destroy cities. Warner Brothers was interested in pursuing that sort of thing. Ripley is interested in chewing on our recording cables.
She's not chewing. She's just rubbing her face on them. You, of all people, do not get to criticize for that.
Because I rub my face on things? This is not as suggestive as it sounds, guys. I just like to rub my face on her face when we're snuggling.
Also, he likes to chew on things.
It's neither here nor there. So, Warner Brothers wanted to capitalize on a movie about nuclear hubris that had the same effective shock treatment that Beast from 20,000 Fathoms did. So they were like, you know what really gave Beast of 20,000 Fathoms the oomph that put it over the edge? It was shot in widescreen. We should shoot in widescreen.
Ooh, okay, so that was the thing.
A staff producer at Warner Brothers named Ted Sherdeman had read a story by author George Washington Yates. The story told of a group of ants colonizing a New York subway station.
These are average ants, just regular?
Surprisingly, they're giant ants.
Okay.
So he wanted to make that into a movie. And so he approached Yates and asked, hey, will you do this? Will you let me make this a movie? And Yates said, yes, I will. How about I write the script for you, too? Since I wrote the book. The book was done as a set of diary entries.
Okay.
But Sherdeman was like, yeah, sure, that sounds great. And the script was written, and it was going to be way too expensive to make.
Okay.
So Sherdeman just said, how about we just take your idea and kind of play with it a bit? And got in contact with Russell Hughes. Mm-hmm. Russell Hughes laid out kind of a storyboard of what we see in the final film, but 10 pages into the script, and he had a heart attack and died. That's
unfortunate.
That's very unfortunate, especially for Sherdeman, who really, really wanted this movie to come about.
Right.
I think my guess is that this became such a passion project because he had a falling out with his uncle's wife and really wanted to show how much he loved ants.
Boo.
My dad jokes aren't cutting it, guys. I'll try better. Actually, the reason that he said that he was interested in the movie is, quote, ants are the only creatures in the world who plan and wage war other than humans, and nobody trusted the atomic bomb at that time. So he wanted to make...
When trusted the atomic bomb?
I don't know anyone who ever has. And I can't imagine why anyone would.
Only an idiot. I can think of at least one.
So Ted Sherdeman finished up the script himself and presented it to Warner Brothers. And Warner Brothers said, you know what? No, we don't want this movie. This looks terrible. So he's like, okay, fine. I'm just going to go take it to Fox, I guess. They'll probably make it. And another executive went up to the guys at Warner Brothers and said, hey, this is probably going to be pretty good. We should probably do this. Mm-hmm. And worked with them to agree to make the movie, instead of just widescreen, mm-hmm. let's do it in Warner color.
Do you wanna tell me what the fuck that is?
It's Warner color.
Guys, you don't see what he's doing, but it's like he's doing like a, not quite jazz hands, but like a, nope, now he's doing jazz hands. Okay.
Warner color.
I still don't know what the fuck Warner Color
It's
is.
vibrant color that wanted to be Technicolor, but was Warner's proprietary
Okay.
thing. They also decided to shoot it in 3D.
Oh.
Several very good 3D movies had come out recently. Vincent Price's House of Wax had seen some success. And that was the first real 3D movie that came out. And they really wanted to kind of capitalize on that as well. Now, it was also in Technicolor, so they wanted to show their own better color through Warner Color. So they agreed to do the movie and started doing test shots. And the color was looking beautiful. They had the ants colored in this purple-green skin, and their eyes were these red and blue, constantly changing things
that's
that
fancy.
made them look alive, and it was gorgeous.
That's real cool.
The 3D was not working.
Ooh.
So they could not shoot in 3D.
He flew too close to the sun.
All right, guys, this is where we're just going to get the, if you can just, all right, now bring those flamethrowers directly to us. Just, you burnt the camera. You burnt the camera. All right, Mike, can we get another 3D camera? We don't have the budget for it. We don't have the budget for another. Let's just shoot this in 2D, guys. I think it's going to work a lot better that way.
We didn't think this through.
And you know what? While we're cutting corners, let's forget Warner Color. We're just going to do this in black and white.
I was going to say, I thought I recollected that it was in black and white.
It is in black and white. They decided to drop the color as well, just because if they're cutting the budget for 3D, they're cutting the budget for color.
Cut all the budgets. In fact, you know what? Take out the bugs. No bugs.
The best thing is they kept all of the shots that they had planned for 3D.
Oh, gracious.
So there's shots of, ants coming right for you, flamethrowers coming right at the screen, all of these things that play better in 3D, but also
they just
didn't put it into 3D. But I think it also gives the audience that little bit of, oh my God, that ant is coming right for me. Even if it's not crawling out of the screen at me, it's still coming right for me.
Oh, gracious.
They created 3 models of giant ants.
Only 3?
Only 3.
Okay.
And only 1 full ant.
Oh, okay.
So the ants were gigantic. They're 10 feet tall. Mm-hmm. And they're operated by a group of, not actors, I guess, but operators managing levers and knobs inside the ant. Which is very, very, very physically exhausting work.
Right.
Especially on 110-degree shooting days.
Where were they shooting this?
They were shooting it out in the New Mexico, Arizona area.
So wait, does this no longer take place in the New York City subway? Where did I miss the change in location?
Oh yeah, that happened in the change in the script. Like
Jesus!
they took the idea of giant ants and just completely moved it when Russell Hughes took over. There are actually a couple of shots where you can see inside the ants if you pause it at the right time. You can see like 20 people just sweating bullets.
It's like those terrifying videos of like when a spider explodes and it's full of tiny baby spiders.
Yes,
except
exactly.
all ants are full of tiny humans.
Right. Who are all exhausted from the intense heat.
Like in Doctor Who, the Tesseract, the time-traveling robot that can shapeshift and look like other humans. You don't know the episode I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
It's Let's Kill Hitler.
Oh, wait, no, I haven't seen that one.
Yes.
It's just I've seen it like once a while back.
I can fix that. Keep going.
Anyway. Similarly, the actors Edmund Gwenn, or the actor Edmund Gwenn and the actress Joan Weldon were bundled up in like wool coats for some of the scenes, which wasn't great for them.
I don't imagine
just to remind folks, it was 110 degrees Fahrenheit during filming.
Oh my God. That's
Not
just so unpleasant.
Great.
That's awful.
Excuse me, Miss Weldon, I understand that you are currently having a heat stroke, but we really need you to focus in and remember your lines. Okay, action. It's supposed to be a much louder scream. You know what? Let's just take one more, and then we'll go straight to the romance. Okay, go. I think we got it. I just can't imagine working in 110-degree heat and having to wear wool clothing for a long period of time.
No, gosh.
They were not huge fans of it.
No, I can't imagine they would be.
Walt Disney actually screened this movie because he was starting to cast for Davy Crockett.
Oh.
He wanted to cast James Arness as Davy Crockett,
Mm-hmm.
but in seeing Fess Parker as the crazy Texan air pilot, he was so impressed that he's like, no, that's the guy we want for Davy Crockett. This guy who doesn't even have a named role, that's who we want.
Okay.
Speaking of named roles, let's go to an uncredited role. As a military guy who gets a readout from a printer or something like that. Leonard Nimoy.
Oh my goodness.
In the third or fourth movie he was ever in.
I'm sure he crushes it. I can't wait.
I'm guessing 6 seconds he's on screen, he probably does. He was not even credited for this role.
I'm confident that he takes the screen with grace.
He does. Screen sounds like scream, and that's the wonderful transition I'm going to use to go into the Wilhelm scream discussion.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the Wilhelm scream, even if they don't know that they know it. It's the scream throughout movies. It's used in so many different movies. It's ah! I can't do it.
It's that scream that you hear and you go, oh, that they just dubbed that in. I know that scream. I've heard it a million times.
Exactly. So that's in this movie 4 different times.
Okay.
But the fun thing is there are actually 6 different screams considered the Wilhelm scream by sound effects folks in the movie industry.
Okay.
From the one scene that Wilhelm first screamed when he was being eaten by an alligator, they took 6 different screams from that.
Oh.
4, 5, and 6 are the ones that are most recognizable as a Wilhelm scream, but all 6 of them count. And I think they use 4, 5, and 6 throughout them 4 times at least. And I think that's pretty much all that I... Oh, wait, no. When this movie came out in Sweden, it was titled Spindlarna, which means the spiders.
But they're ants. They're not spiders.
That is correct.
They're arachnids.
Right. So, what they did was they actually digitally edited all of the footage.
Did they? Okay, they at least added on legs. That's okay.
They did not.
Son of a bitch.
I just wanted to see your reaction. You should see the face that she's making right now. It is a mix of very angry and very, very cute. You should see it. She just can't make an angry face without being adorable. She's trying even harder, and it's making her even cuter. So we're going to go watch this movie now, and we'll be back afterwards, and we'll talk about it. So let's all go to the lobby. And we are back.
Yes, we are.
So, Them. That was an interesting movie.
Is that the word we want to use?
No.
Okay.
It had peaks and valleys.
Yes.
Well, really, peaks
So it
and valley.
had. I was going to say it had loud parts, and then less loud parts.
Yes. There's the beginning up to the point where they fight off the first nest of ants. And then there's a lot of nothing. It's really boring.
Yeah. Full disclosure, guys, I fell asleep.
She did.
I did.
It was super cute. Strangely, though, her snores sounded exactly like the giant ants.
How dare you?
No, so those the ant noises were actually frogs. The sound people took a bunch of frogs and took the sounds from those frogs, and that's what the ant sound was.
Oh, okay. I do enjoy that sort of factoid is one of those things I love. I love Foley artists and that sort of
Oh, you are going to love some of the information I've got for our next movie then.
Oh boy.
And by that I mean two pieces of information.
I look forward to those 2 pieces of information.
Good. So moving on. Yeah, I mean, I thought the points where they were fighting with the ants were really good. I thought those parts were really fun parts.
I am still deeply disappointed that they didn't go with Warner color.
I am too. Now, I'm sure you saw in the opening shot where it popped up with them, and them was in red and blue.
Yeah.
That was really the only thing of Warner color that stuck around.
Yes.
But I would love to have seen those ants
the
in
way
real Warner color.
The way you described them sounded really vividly neat.
They looked amazing.
Yeah.
At least in my mind, in the description.
The way you described them looked amazing in my mind.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to discuss the movie with my father, who remembered when it came out, and he, shout out, hey Dennis, he didn't know actually that it was originally supposed to be in Warner color and also supposed to be in 3D.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yes. His review, by the way, was, it wasn't bad.
That's about right. A, that's about right for that movie, and B, that's about right for what Dennis would say about it.
Yep.
So one of my favorite lines in the movie was, "We're grown up, no need to play footsie." When the government guys are talking to Edmund Gwen.
All those years before Wide Stance anything happened.
Yes. Also, one of my favorite things, I forgot that Edmund Gwen was Santa Claus from Miracle on 34th Street.
I believe he took the same method acting approach to both roles.
Agreed. He actually gave children presents, all the children of the world presents on Christmas Eve when they were filming Miracle on 34th Street.
In one night.
In one night. And he studied ants very, very, very intensely. To really make sure that he was providing good information.
One of the points that I was awake for was the exact only point that you told me about. The point that ants are the only creatures that wage war.
Yes. Yeah, they make sure to make a point of that in the movie.
I recollected, oh yes, I heard about this. It felt very on the nose.
It did. You were, I believe, asleep for the Leonard Nimoy
I believe I was.
Which was disappointing. But you wouldn't have recognized it even if you were. He was so young. It was just his nose and the...
So it looked like Zachary Quinto?
It looked like Zachary... No. You could... I could recognize it by the nose and just the area around his eyes. But other than that... Hoo boy!
He hadn't been prematurely aged by years of work with William Shatner yet.
He had not, no. William Shatner aged poorly and aged Leonard Nimoy poorly.
We're going to get sued by William Shatner.
Or Leonard Nimoy. I think either one.
You mean the estate of Leonard Nimoy?
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting Leonard Nimoy's no more.
I wish I could will him back to life.
William Shatner him back to life.
You're the worst.
I'm not the worst yet. Calling him Leonard No More is the worst.
You're the worst.
Yep. Let's go over some of the tropes.
There could surely be more of this monster.
Oh yes,
that's one.
I mean, it's hard to say that it was a trope of the nuclear. The bomb has created this monster when this was only the 5th or 6th movie ever made that had that plot.
Yeah, it's like the very nearly the creation of a trope itself.
Exactly, but it is still a trope.
Yeah,
and I'm counting it. one of my favorite parts was the old people don't get technology when
Yeah, oh my god,
Edmund
the
Gwen
radio bit.
didn't understand how to use a radio, and they tried to turn it into this
That was so
funny
tiresome.
thing.
I fell asleep.
Yes, it was.
No, now you say over. But why? No, just say over. Okay.
Yeah. At least there weren't any over bits.
Why is the woman a scientist?
Yeah.
Again, so tiresome. I fell asleep.
A very tiresome bit. The laymen don't understand scientific talk. I think it was all but in English, please. The big burly man tries to protect the woman.
Woman scientist tells big burly man to get out of her way so she can science.
Yes. And of course we've got our by the book cops.
Santa Claus saves the day.
Santa Claus saves the day. It's perfect.
It's my favorite trope.
Have you seen Santa Claus Conquers the Martians?
No.
That one we'll need to do. That's a great Santa Claus Saves the Day movie.
Yep.
Oh, goodness. It is not a great movie.
We have actually, sneak preview, we have a whole list of Christmas shit-tacular, I'm calling it.
Oh, yeah. We'll be having a Christmas shit-tacular in December, so get ready for some fun episodes. But in terms of tropes, I think that those are all the important ones.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really liked, I think the beginning did very well of keeping things creepy.
Yeah.
With the staring off into space girl who's not talking.
Yeah, a catatonic little girl.
Carrying a creepy baby whose head is partially caved in.
Yeah, yeah.
Real great. Real great.
Well done.
And the kind of bringing things out slowly to get... Because it's 28 minutes into the movie before you see a giant ant.
Yeah.
But one of the characters finds them first because he gets killed by him. But that's all seen off screen. So the guy goes to investigate. You hear a bunch of gunshots and he screams, but we don't see what killed him.
Yeah, it's done well. I mean, that much of it.
Agreed.
Anyway.
But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this episode.
Thank you so much for listening.
And as always, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Podbean. You can reach us on Twitter at Subverted Tropes. You can send us an email if you have any movie suggestions or thoughts in general at subvertedtropecast@gmail.com. And keep reading our blog at subvertedtropecast.wordpress.com.
Follow, like, subscribe, tell your friends. And if you don't like us, then don't.
If you don't like us, tell your enemies. Maybe they will. Anyway, thank you very much. Again, I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kate.
And we are Subverted Tropes.